All right, now I think we're solid. Okay, so we are live. Hello everyone, how you doing? Zaya, Steven, Poke. Now, you guys might be wondering, or any other members that are lurking, I know some of you guys don't like to type and you just like to listen. You might be wondering, why are you doing a members only podcast? Isn't this supposed to be for everybody? Isn't this supposed to be something that we all talk about and you do questions? And that's true, but hold on. I want to try something new. I want to try something a little strange for a little piece of change. So first, I just want to say thank you for all the members that support me. You're the reason why I can make videos on the channel. You're the reason why I can continue to make videos on the channel. Like, you guys are obviously the whole entire reason I'm able to even do the channel. So thank you guys a lot. And when I was thinking about what can I do for members to help you guys feel special, maybe not help you guys feel special, but what can I do to make you guys feel special? And I was like, what if you guys are inside of the actual podcast where I can actually read your comments and stuff like that? I thought that would be really, really dope. So your comments are going to go there, or over there actually, and I will be reading them when we get to little breakpoints. We are also not going to be reading people's comments. Well, let me just start with the flow. So the flow of what the podcast is going to be, and we're going to continue to try to do this if you guys like it. If you like it, make sure that thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. That way you're notified for more. So again, so I know that you like it. So the first thing we're going to talk about are going to be the characters. We're going to discuss, them being dropped. We're going to discuss what the thoughts are, what the abilities might be, what the classes might be. That's what we're going to do first. The second thing we're going to talk about is the ranked compensation. Again, we're going to, discuss it, hear our thoughts about it. Is it enough? The third thing we're going to talk about are going to be changes coming. So this is going to be like things that are going to be on the community pit stop, the patch notes and stuff like that. And then the fourth thing we're going to talk about are going to be comments from the last podcast. So every single time that I do a podcast, I'm going to go back to the last podcast and we're going to discuss your comments. Between each breakpoint, I'm going to look at members chat over there. I'm transitioned. And I'm going to try to discuss it with you guys. If you guys have comments, I would love to discuss the comments and, talk about what you guys are feeling. If you guys are like, I don't really have much to say on this topic, then you know what I mean. I'm not going to have to worry about asking you. So that's how it's going to go. Let's get started. Let's see what it is. Timestamps are going to be down below, of course, because we are going in order. Oh, I forgot to get titles, but that's all right. We'll add titles for the next podcast. Look, this is trial and error podcast. All right, so here we go. The first thing we're going to talk about are characters. So here are the characters that were dropped. We're going to go one by one and just discuss, the thoughts and what we think about them. So with Ariel, it's plain and simple. You see it right there. She is, let me scoot it over a little bit. There we go. I like this. This is kind of nice. It's nice to not feel recorded. But Ariel's dropping. My personal thoughts on it is it pretty much looks how you would expect it to look. I know some people were like, I don't want to see the action live Ariel. And I don't think they would ever actually do an action live type of character, because they usually start from the back. I don't really see them going to the front of the movie series and be like, hey, let's get the real life action one rather than just the old school one that people grew up with. I think that's their main goal when it comes to Disney Speedstorm. It's just giving you what you grew up with. With Ariel, I think her class might be a speedster. I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of the main characters in Disney Speedstorm are speedsters. You know what I mean? Like if we look at Lilo and Stitch, they're speedsters. If we look at Mike, speedster. If we look at Aladdin and Jasmine, that's a toss-up because Aladdin and Jasmine are both the stars, but granted, one of the stars are a speedster. And then what was the last one? Oh yeah, Frozen. And then, I guess Anna's a trickster and Elsa's a defender. Do we even have a speedster of that class or of that series? We don't, do we? Am I crazy? Nah, trickster, defender, Kristoff's defender, Olaf. Olaf's a speedster. Olaf's a speedster. Oh, but he's right here. We chilling. Olaf's a speedster. I'm trolling. I consider him a main character. So, disregard. Don't even act like, he's not a main character. You don't count. He is the main character. He's the only reason why he saves people. Main character. So I'm going to assume that Ariel is also a main character in the series. And I'm going to assume that she's also a speedster. Also, I think it doesn't really match the other characters to be a speedster. And I'd be very, very shocked. So that's what I think. When it comes to Ariel specifically, I think that her abilities might have to do with having maybe, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I do expect some water, and I do expect a transition between Ariel and Mermaid, because all the other characters except the prince have fins or tentacles, or like, they don't have legs. Whereas Ariel, her whole thing was growing legs. That sounds horrible. Growing legs. Her whole thing was getting legs, and then being like it's that's her whole thing. So it'd be a very missed opportunity for her not to use an ability, and oh, I'm a mermaid now type of thing, right? So I think that's what her ability is going to be. And I know that I've seen some people talk about, well, maybe they're going to transform her and she's going to look like Minnie, and I think you guys are talking about that in my Discord. I think that's true too. I think that they're going to do something where she like just gets up and she just starts like floating above her cart and she goes like this or something like that. Again, if they don't do that, I feel like that's a super missed opportunity, and I hope they do that. Ariel's probably not going to be my main, but that is my thoughts about that. Let's move on to the next character here. The next character that we got dropped was the prince. Now, honestly, I don't remember much about the prince, mainly because I usually, back in the day, especially with movies I didn't rewatch as a kid, I didn't pay attention to the guy. When I was young, it was like, ooh, you guys are kissing, get out of here, where's the fun stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I never rewatched The Little Mermaid as an adult to actually care about the feelings between the two. But stuff like Beauty and the Beast, I've rewatched, as I got older. Aladdin, I just rewatched over and over and over. That was my movie. But when it came to these two, it was kind of like, ooh, that's nasty. I know why you're trying to see, yeah, she got cooties. You kissing her, she got cooties, and you gonna catch cooties because she got cooties. That's how I thought. So I don't know about him like that. I'm gonna assume he follows somewhere, maybe like Hans. I know Hans is kind of like he's like a general type of prince. I don't know if Prince Eric is like a general type of prince, like a commanding general, more so just like, hey, my daddy's a king and I'm a prince. Like, I don't know too much about that. In terms of classes, I mean, maybe a brawler. Again, it's hard. I really have like nothing coming out. I'm gonna just say defender, because if you think about it, I think he tries to defend Ariel, and I don't remember. I think he tried to defend Ariel in the movie, and that's just a guess for me. I don't really have much to say. Ability wise, as I said, maybe something general, like something. God, I really don't know. He had a boat, I think, right? Maybe he's gonna do something with the boat. I don't know, man. That one's up. I really don't know. So that's my thoughts on Prince. Hey, look, I'm sorry. Again, cooties, I didn't pay attention. That's all it was. The next character that we have is Ursula. So with Ursula, I actually really enjoy Ursula, and I think that she's going to be my main character out of the series. I really love Ursula from the movies. I really love Ursula from Dreamlight Valley. I really love Ursula from the series. She's just dope. From Kingdom Hearts, I believe she was also in Kingdom Hearts. So she had a big impression on me when I was a kid, because she was pretty much in everything. And it was kind of like she's evil, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's one of those, at least from my reminiscence, she was evil, but she wasn't like, I'm gonna hurt everybody evil. It was kind of like she nice evil. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's okay to be evil, even though you're not really like truly that evil. So I think that's why I resonated. It's interesting to see her in a cart, because we know that she has tentacles. She's not gonna have legs. But I think in the series or movie, she did get legs. I could be wrong. I do not remember, but I'm having a brief memory of the fact that she stole Ariel's powers to have legs or something like that, and then she got legs. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. But regardless, we know that she's going to have tentacles. Her abilities, I think, is going to be something more aligned of like a squid or octopus, maybe leaving stuff on the ground, ink trails, poison, gas, or whatever. Just something that just really mess with the player more or less than stun them. I don't think that they were going to go to stun route with her, just because she's so mysterious and she's so evasive and she's so cunning and stuff like that. I don't see her as having just regular abilities. Again, I could be wrong, but that's just my thoughts towards her. As far as it goes, I think Trickster might not be far from the truth when it comes to Ursula. She is big though, but the size does not equal brawler, and the size does not equal defender either. So, that's something to also think about when you're looking at these characters, and you might be thinking of like defenders or brawlers or speedsters. Like, it doesn't really matter their size, because there's different characters in the game that are different sizes that actually go into different roles and stuff like that. Like, Jessie's a brawler, but she's small. who there's another defender that's Elsa. Elsa's a defender, but she's small. You know what I mean? So size doesn't really tell the whole story here. However, I will say I haven't seen a big trickster, unless I'm crazy. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think there's a big trickster. Not saying that's not doable, but I don't recall there actually being a big trickster in the game. So that'll be interesting to see. And maybe this is their time of going, through leaps and bounds. Like, let's test out a trickster that's actually the size of a brawler or a defender usually. Like something like that. I could be wrong though. But let's go ahead to the next one. And the last character here that we have is King Triton. Now, we can already see that his fin is hanging out the cart. So we already know that he's not gonna have legs. We also know that he doesn't have his trident, which we discussed it in our Discord already. If you guys haven't joined my Discord, link down in the description below. But we already talked about that, and we were like, yo, maybe, it's weird he doesn't have his trident. It's strange he doesn't have his trident. Like, why would you not have the trident? Trident. Not Triton. Trident. I was like, it sounds weird. That's not how you say it. He doesn't have his trident. And that's something that we know that, Speedstorm, the people that created, the people that like design the game, they don't really miss details like that. Like they go hardcore for details, especially because us as the players who grew up on this stuff really appreciate those details. It doesn't feel like it's a copy and paste. I'm painting Disney characters on a game. They're like, no, we are importing this character into the game. Here's how it would behave. Here's how it would act in a racer. And that's what we know that he doesn't have it. So it's most likely going to happen when he uses his ability. I don't recall any of his powers, but I'm just going to assume he's going to do something like a lightning bolt strike or something like that. I know that's Zeus, but I mean, it is what it is. Maybe he does like a tornado or something like that, like a tsunami. I don't know. Maybe a wave. I don't know. In terms of character, maybe he's a defender. He can be a brawler too. I don't see him as a speedster or a trickster though. That's just weird. So I definitely think he's probably going to be a brawler or a defender. If I were to say, I would say that he'd be a brawler, and then Prince would be a defender, and then Ursula a trickster, and then Ariel Ariel as speedster. Again, this is all just guesses. Yeah, I don't know anything with that. As far as the abilities, like I said, maybe something like a tornado, something like a tsunami, something like that. Something where it's more of like I'm controlling the water rather than just throwing water at you. So I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like. I really want to stop seeing trails though. So if we can stop making characters with trails, game loft, I would appreciate that because that's getting on my nerves. But we're gonna talk more about trails later on. So that is the characters that are coming out. Like I said, I want to have a brief segment just discussing it with the chat, which is why I want you here as members. If you guys want to become a member, you not only support the channel, but you also get some goodies. Check that join button down below. Let's see what you guys have to say. So, what do you guys think? What are your mains gonna be when it comes out of these four? Like, who do you guys want to main? Who do you feel is gonna be the best character for you? Who do you feel might be a lackluster character? What if you're going the other way? What if you feel like, well, they didn't do my favorite character justice. They don't look like how they're supposed to look from the movies. I want to see what you guys got to say. We're gonna take probably about 5-ish minutes to just go over the chat and see what you guys have to say about your things. And we go like that. I love the colors of Prince Eric and the visuals are nice. I think Prince Eric low-key kind of looks like Aladdin. I said this before, but I think that they kind of look alike. Like they brothers or something. And I get that, especially back then, most Disney characters did look alike. But also, I know that they're basic, right? You got Disney who like just takes all these characters and fantastic things and they transform them, but then you got to keep like a base character of like a human, and it's kind of like you can't really do much with a human. You know what I mean? So most of the humans of all the guys look alike. The girls or the princesses, you can make them look glamorous, you can make them look crazy, but I've noticed that most of the boys or the men usually look kind of similar to one another, and you definitely could see it here. You could definitely see that they're similar. Poke said, honestly, I want Ariel as my main. However, depends on how available the materials are, shards, etc. are in order to main any given character. That's funny. So here's a thought that I had. And now, this is a horrible thought, but it's a thought that I had because I was like, this is not really something I could put past Game Loft. I feel like they would probably do something like this. So what I thought was that what if they were like, okay, we're not going to give you all the characters in the tour, and we're not going to give you all the characters on the season pass. However, what we're going to do is we are going to have it so that every 2 weeks a new character drops, and you can do a limited event, or you can buy the character when it drops. If they continue to do this, they can spread out all their characters throughout the entire season. You know what I'm saying? Every season before, we would get like all the characters. Yeah, one would be like way back in the past, but usually you get all characters within like the first week, possibly. And if you spend money, then you just got it probably day one. But how would you guys feel if they were like, bro, what we're gonna do, because you know we're not adding that many season racers, bonus racers, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna spread out all the character drops. That way you always got something to come back for. That way you always you never get bored, because there's always gonna be another character drop every 2 weeks later, and you're gonna have to wait for like 4 weeks for Ariel or something like that. How do you how do you guys feel that would be? Would that just like turn you off? It's like, not only we have to wait, but you're putting it behind a limited event, bro. What? I think people would be very angry, but it's a way to stretch the game if they don't have a lot of bonus racers. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but that would definitely be something interesting to see. Steven says, I think Eric will be my main purely based on that Hans was my main of the Frozen characters. Was Hans your main for the Frozen characters because you just like the way he looked, or you just really like Hans in the movie? I liked Hans in the movie, but when they were singing that song of what was that song? Love is an Open Door. I felt like he was playing Anna, and I was like, something strange for a little piece of change. There's no way that this dude is just that in love with Anna, just crazy like that. And of course, you find out the rest, and it's like, you play my girl Anna like that. How could you? But I knew something was up with him. But I liked him before he did that, because I thought he was good. I thought he was the homie. But then he turned out to not be. Depends. Top 10 requirement or top 100 gets the racer. Oh, true. They could make it top 100. They could make it top 100. There's no reason to not make it top 100. And that would also make everybody feel better about limited events, because it's like, oh, we have to wait 2 weeks, but I'm for sure going to get my character for the top 100. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Every 2 weeks, bam, another one. Every 2 weeks, bam, another one. That wouldn't really be too bad. I mean, it would still suck you have to wait, but it'd be a great way to continue the game without having to spend a ton of money on new characters every single time. And you don't have a drought. A lot of Speedstorm, if you guys didn't know, just for playing for a long time, Speedstorm just has a drought phase. I mean, you guys probably already know this, but towards the end of the season, there's a drought. Like after chapter 10, there's a drought and nobody really plays the game anymore other than like some special events. But that'd be a way to limit the drought, because you would always just kind of go like that every single time you come back. However, that would suck, because some people might want a specific character, let's just say Ariel, and you don't get Ariel on that. You're gonna have to wait 2 weeks for Ariel. You're gonna have to wait, unless they say you can buy the character. Maybe all the characters are available in the shop, and you can choose to buy it and get it now, or you can wait until the event rolls around to get your character. That is a way for them to do what I said before. If they made a Disney Speedstorm 2, is to have people buy characters. That'd be a way to do it without having to really be money hungry. I mean, I think people are going to be upset regardless, because that's kind of troll. But that'd be a way for them to make money, and a way for them to keep players interested at the same time. So who knows? I feel like there's going to be something like that. I think Disney Speedstorm always hits us with a left field in terms of every single patch. They don't say it, but when you see it, you're like, bruh, y'all actually doing this? How could you guys do that to me? Okay, because Steven says they like Prince Eric because of his, or they like Hans because of his skills in Speedstorm. I love that, so I chose him. That makes sense. If you do that, then at the drop of each new character, ranked races we fill of the same character. True, that is true. Every single time a new character is dropped, we always get the same character in ranked, even regulated sometimes. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we were just talking about the characters. We were talking about how we felt about them, what the abilities, what the classes would be. And we also looked at your thoughts in chat on what you think about the new characters and how they might be released and stuff like that. The next thing that we're going to talk about is going to be ranked compensation. So if you don't know what the ranked compensation was for, it was for players who played ranked and they didn't... Well, let me just kind of back up and just say this. When you play ranked, you get different rewards for ranking up your character, right? What you'll get now is you'll get materials, and you get like 80. I don't really remember the exact number, but you get a lot of materials. Before the change, players who completed ranked would get like, was it like 10 or maybe 20? You didn't get 80, right? And so a lot of us were stuck not being able to, you know, rank up the character or level up the character because we didn't have enough materials for it. They then changed it so that way when you rank up, you get a ton. The problem here with this is that if you already ranked up, you didn't get the change of rewards. So they were saying that, okay, for the players who already ranked up that didn't get a chance to get all these crazy materials that we made adjustments to, we will compensate you for that. So that is what this is about, and that's what this is for. So we have 6 the Little Mermaid season box tokens. These are going to be tokens that you're able to, you know, roll the loot box. Every season has a like a loot box type of thing, and so these are going to be 6 tokens for that. You also get 3,000 MP coins. That was kind of whatever, you know. I don't really think a lot of the old school players like myself need MP coins, but for those of you that kind of started later and you guys needed that 3,000 MP coins, I think it's good for you guys. 200 loaf of bread Aladdin collection, 100 big wheel bike Lilo and Stitch collection, 100 alphabet blocks Toy Story collection, and 100 Scream canisters Monster Inc collection. Now, before we even hop into this compensation, they actually did something recently where you can purchase the items that you see here. I need to remember it's to my left. You could purchase the items that you see here through the shop. This was before we were told about the compensation. So this kind of goes 2 ways. First off, if you're an old school player like me, most likely you don't need these. I'm not gonna lie, you most likely don't need them as much because you already ranked your character, you already got all the materials, you probably chilling, you probably don't even want to play your character at that rank because you don't have them enough starred. You know, you don't really have, you can't level them because you don't have the stars. That's one side of the story. The other side of the story is that, okay, well, we just started. This is awesome because, dude, we needed this. You know, this is great. I just started, you know, I have enough materials to now level up my character. This is awesome. So this is actually something that's interesting because we know that Gameloft didn't really do a good job of helping new players. This was actually really good for new players. Like, this was solid. And I actually, it's kind of like whatever for me, but you know me, you know my channel. I never really cared about myself. I always cared about the new players. I always cared about the ones coming to the game because in order for the game to be successful, we need the new people to enjoy the game. We need the new people to like the game. That's always been my main goal, and that's always been my main focus. I don't care what you do to me because I've been here for so long. I got everything, basically. But for the new players, that's what I care about. And so this is actually really cool. So that's the both sides of the story. But there's one final point that I want to talk about. When they were in the shop, a lot of players were spending coins to buy the upgrade materials. On top of that, they could have been spending real money to get the yellow coins to buy the materials. Why was there no compensation for that? If I spent $10 for coins to buy these materials, shouldn't I get compensated for that too? If I spent my season coins to buy these materials, shouldn't I get compensated for that too? Because if I didn't have the ability to get all this stuff, right? Because I already did it. I already ranked up before the changes. I have no way to get these materials. And you're basically saying, hey, it's in the shop, pay them or buy them. What happens to all the coins that I just lost? Do you guys feel like you should be able to have, like, maybe give yourself some credits that maybe they gave everybody, like, okay, so we understand that you guys bought a lot of your stuff. What we're going to do is we're just going to give you guys, like 5 or 10 university roles. We're going to give you guys 100. That's a lot of coins. I mean, it would probably equal up to 100,000 for sure, or more. Maybe like, hey, we're going to give you guys 100,000 coins because we know that you guys are buying all this stuff. Like, how do you guys really feel about this? On top of that, this is not all of the materials. This is some of the materials, right? There's things like clocks. Where's that at? Where's the clocks? You know, there's things like, I don't remember, to be honest with y'all. I really don't. But there's rockets for like Toy Story, right? I think that's what it is. There's like rockets. Like, there's still stuff missing. that people are not getting compensated for. You know what I mean? So like, we're gonna take it over to the chat. I pretty much said what I was gonna say. But what do you guys feel? What do you guys think about this? I think it's great for new players, and I think it's awesome. But for the people that already bought a lot of this stuff or used real money to buy this stuff, they're kind of gypped. And on top of that, the people that got higher in ranks and, you know, got like the rockets or got the clocks and things like that, they don't have a chance to get that either, and that's not in the compensation. So again, it is a happy thing for those new players or for you guys that are struggling to level up. It is a happy thing, but do you feel like it could have been more? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Zaya said, I wanted some clocks. Another Saru said that a little late. A lot of people were really angry on the Discord. Maybe they quit already. I don't think people quit. I feel like this is how my thought is when people say they're gonna quit the game. People who announce they're gonna quit don't usually quit. That's like for every game I've noticed. Even within people that I know, like, dude, I'm quitting. If you have to say you're gonna quit, you're not quitting. So I never really think about that when people verbally say it or when they make posts. It's like, y'all not gonna quit. Y'all coming back next season. Don't give me that nonsense. I'll take the free stuff though. True, free stuff is never bad. I wasn't expecting any compensation, so that is awesome. However, I'd rather receive season coins than MP coins, and I have no use anymore for Aladdin loaf of bread. That's what I was saying. It's like some of this stuff is good for new people, but for other people it might not be. And I think especially even if you are new, but you're like, I really want to level up my character, but I don't have the resources. Let me buy them from the shop. Let me spend $10 and get the coins to buy them from the shop. You know what I mean? And let me spend it on my daily shop. There's no compensation for that. So there's actually a lot more that we did that we're not getting compensated for. And I also want to say that this was something that has happened a while ago, and yet it took this long for us to get compensated for it. I don't really know if just that's how long it took, but that's just what I wanted to say, how long it took. Compensation came a little late. Sadly, don't get any of the level NPR 25 Aladdin items, but 6 Little Mermaid tokens, not $30 worth of value. Yeah, I think that the tokens were pretty okay, as long as they don't rig the system. Yo, y'all know there's some company that got in trouble for rigging the gacha system, making you have low odds. But I think that's nice. Again, I just feel like maybe the coins would have been a really cool thing instead of MP coins, like you were saying. I think the coins, that's what Kraken Crunch said. Poke said they're still missing the compensation of clocks unless I'm missing something. No, they didn't do that. Yes, unfortunately, no materials for every season or every series, and not to mention the class mats too. Oh yeah, I forgot. Even if you get all this stuff, you still need the materials for the classes. Yo, I totally forgot about that. I'm trolling. I'm trolling. Poke said, how about the compensation for the requirement of barely getting Oswald unlocked and then turn right around and level 30 for the season tour? True, that's rough though, because I think they're using that as a way to make money. The terms of, and that's not negatively speaking on that, but basically saying that, okay, well, we definitely need to approach, we need to approach a season tour with a way to get money. You know what I mean? You got to think, however many players they have left, not all of them buy, right? And a lot of them might use the free cash that's given to them to buy things, right? So how much money are they really getting from players that don't well out, basically? I think a way to get around that is to make it so that, yes, you can complete the entire season tour, but you can't do the special stuff unless you pay. I don't really know, because it feels like I'm kind of buying 2 battle passes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you buy a battle pass to unlock the premium, but then I have to buy more stuff to unlock the premium and season tour. So that's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope. I don't really have any comments on that one, but that's a slippery slope for sure. Zaya said plates, Hercules figures, clocks, and forget what else. Yes, exactly. There's just a lot of materials that it's like, okay, we can get them to a certain level, but this isn't compensating me for paying for things in the store. This isn't compensating me for being able to level up. I basically just have a surplus of a whole bunch of random stuff. And again, for the newer players, I think that's good. I don't think there's an issue with that. I think that is definitely something that is good. If the players that spend a lot of money, or if the players that have been playing for a long time like myself, we need to be pigeonholed so that the other players can catch up in a way. I'm gonna say I don't really have a problem with that, because the newer players have been gimped for so many seasons. However, again, I felt like we could have got coins. Again, I felt like we could have gotten somebody could have gotten compensated for just how much money they spent, because I do know people spent real money on the coins to get the materials. Yet we got the materials now, but we can't use the materials, so it's kind of like breath. So, all right, let's finish up here and let's move on to the next thing that we're going to talk about. So, but definitely nice to have something rather than nothing. True. Hopefully the Little Mermaid season boxes are very generous, like Frozen. Frozen. True. I do think that was a very generous. There's a lot of stuff given for free in the Frozen season. How about Game Loft gives us the choice between A, B, or C, and then we have something. We have a say in something. I like that. Give us a choice. What do we want, rather than like telling us this is what you're gonna get. Or since majority of things in the entire shop require the blue tokens, then Gameloft can give us a huge chunk of those tokens for us to choose what we want to use on them, since they don't expire. That's true too, but that's given cash, right? I'm assuming you're talking about the blue tokens, which is the cash currency, or the cash conversion. I don't know if they'd be that generous. All right, let's move on to the third thing. So we already discussed the characters. We discussed the rank compensation, how we feel about it, what was happening, what to expect. Let's hop into the changes coming. We're going to be discussing the patch notes. Now, the patch notes are not out, but we do have some things talked about from Gameloft themselves, from the community. Now, of course, things are subject to change per usual. That's pretty much what AJ always says. But, this is what we have to go off right now. So, first of all, I want to give a thanks to Kingdom Hearts fan. Thank you for being in the Discord, being someone who shares a lot of content, a lot of conversation. You're just all around, always there. You provided me with screenshots that I did not have to go get myself, and it saved me a lot of time. So, because I would have to go do it myself. So I appreciate you providing me the screenshots, so that way I didn't have to actually go get them. All right, let's see. So the first thing that we have here is the 19 racers. So if 19 racers are getting changes, one class is getting a change, one common skill is getting a change this season as well. And so let's just talk about the characters. Now, from my experience with Gameloft, this over here, popping fingers over there, this is not what it appears to be. Okay? This might sound a lot better than it is. Let me talk about what I'm saying, and then let me talk about what I think they mean. So for me, when I see 19 races are about to get changed or about to have some adjustments, bro, it's about to be balance changes. We about to make sure that, skills are going to get adjusted, so players aren't going to be able to have like flame and bombs and all that crap all put together. We're going to be talking about how some abilities are going to get adjusted, or stun timers are going to get low. That's what I think. Stats adjusted, whatever. But given that we don't have a direction of where the game is going, we don't know what this game is supposed to be. Is it supposed to stay like unbalanced and cash rules all? Is it going to be going more in the balanced direction? I do remember that when they did a change before, and it wasn't really to balance the game. And when they did that change, the abilities or the character that they did a change on still was broken at 4 and 5 stars. So I don't know what to think, because a lot of the changes that they do isn't an all-round change. I've noticed that a lot of the changes that Gameloft might do for Speedstorm is very like half. It's not like they don't care, but it's like it's not the whole package. It's something of that package. And so, like I said before, when they nerfed like Stitch and Jessie, it was nerfed for like 1, 2, and 3 stars. But if you get a Jessie or a Stitch in 4 and 5 stars, it's like half package of a nerf. So they want people who spend money to feel broken. Obviously, that's why those characters are broken. But they also want it to not be over the top, so that people who don't spend money are like being annoyed by it, because if you get annoyed too much, you're just gonna stop playing altogether. And I don't think that's what they want, obviously. So from my experience, I think that from that like type of spiel, I feel like what they're gonna do is fix trails. They already said they're gonna fix trails, and a lot of characters have problems with trails. Another thing that I think they're going to fix is not necessarily balancing things, but I think they're going to fix a lot of the toxic behavior from some of these characters. As toxic behavior goes, there's a few characters in the game already that are very toxic. Elizabeth Swann is a toxic character to go against. It is not fun. It's anti-fun. And when developers notice something is anti-fun to go against, they are going to need to take action, because that is what causes people to quit. I always bring up League of Legends because everybody knows League of Legends. There was a developer there that worked on Champions, and they were like, players were starting to feel like going against this character is anti-fun. Yes, it's fun to play the character, but playing the character should not have the rest of the people that are playing with you annoyed. It should not make them angry. It should not make it anti-fun, where it feels like, oh, I'm in this game and I'm not having fun anymore. That literally defeats the purpose of a game. You want to make sure that when you're playing the game, you're always having fun. Yeah, you might be a little annoyed. Yeah, it might be a little like, but it's not to the point where it's like, bro, I really hate this. When I play against Elizabeth Swann, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Not only because of the trails that she leaves and the knock that she does, but she also has just a lot of abilities that are just useful. She's a defender, so she can get shields. She can go invisible. Like, it's anti-fun to play with something like that. You know what I mean? Another character is Steamboat Mickey. Another anti-fun character to play against. And so if we are going to touch 19 racers, I would assume that it's not a balance change, it's an anti-fun change. I would hope that we would go in the direction of anti-fun first, and then go to the direction of balance. It wouldn't make much sense to balance a racer in a game that's designed to be unbalanced, because the higher you are in stars and the higher you are in levels, the more broken you are. If that's the formula that they want to go, that's fine, but we want to make sure that you're not balancing the game against what you designed the game to be. I would just rather have a lot of these characters be changed so it's not so anti-fun. Disney Speedstorm is a pain in the butt, and yes, it's pay to win, but a lot of the issue is the anti-fun aspect when you are doing 1v1s, when you have 3 people in the lobby. You know, some abilities will just hit you once and you're done with the race. Anti-fun. So I think that's the direction that they're going to go. Another anti-fun mechanic are autopilot characters. So part of this 19, I would like to see autopilot characters fixed. I would like to see them remain in the middle of the road, because autopilot characters like what? Autopilot characters like Goofy, autopilot characters like Aladdin, autopilot characters like Lilo. Like, these are characters who can go in the grass or in the rough, wherever it may be, snow, whatever, and they can cut corners way easier than others. So much so, they glitch out of the map. That is unfair. You know how many seconds you can shave by glitching out of the map and then going? As an example, the new Frozen map. You guys know when you get into the castle, you do that nice little curve. When Aladdin is free to use on the multiplayer thing, that's how you know. Like, you can pretty much tell which characters are OP if you look at the leaderboards that are the community events. You'll see a lot of the people play the same characters at the top. That's a sign that it's OP. Even for me, when I had an Aladdin, I don't level up my characters too much. You guys know this. I tend to just leave them until I need to level them. But with Aladdin, he's like level 35, and I was getting top 100 with Aladdin. All because the dude can just go through walls. That's gotta go. You can't win. It's literally unwinnable, and that is anti-fun. If you are against an Aladdin, you just lost first place. If you're against 4 Aladdins, you're not winning. Unless you have, more stars than them. Yeah, that's give or take. And even then, it's still hard to catch an Aladdin, especially if they get really lucky on that roll. So, again, the anti-fun things is a go. But aside from the anti-fun things, I also think they need to change some of the characters that are, I don't want to say useless, but some characters in the game are not on par with others. It's like, if there's a spectrum of broken, okay, bro, y'all need a tweak. The bro, y'all need a tweak section needs to be pushed up to like, okay. As an example, a few of the characters that come to mind are characters like Beast. Now, Beast for me is not an issue, but the average population of Disney Speedstorm cannot play Beast to save their lives. They all struggle, which means that you need to be very well versed in how to play Speedstorm. You also need to be very well versed in how to play the character. That is not a good design, and so they might need to tweak it so that Beast is not so hard to play for people, and everybody else can enjoy the character without feeling like they are underwhelmed, or they're underwhelming. That's right. I think that's what I wanted to say. Another character that is in that line of needs to kind of be pushed up a little bit is Mike Wazowski. Now you might be thinking, well, Mike, the teleport thing's broken, bro. What are you talking about? Well, the thing about Mike is his doors don't work. They're very glitchy. And I've said this all the way back in my first patch notes ever. I would say the same exact thing that I'm saying now is Mike Wazowski's doors do not function properly. They spawn in weird places. They can be broken. If he's hurt, he can't go through them. And that's horrible as it's horrible as a brawler game because, you know, like it's a battle game. You're going to be hurt. Like, you can't really drive that much without being hit by something. So that's just horrible. And then the fact that also his doors close. Like, if he can't make it on time, his doors close. That's a lot of like ifs, or that's a lot of maybes that you're just not going to hit the door. And so that's another type of character that I think should be pushed up, is like the characters like that. So anti-fun characters need to change. Autopilot characters need to change. The characters that are underwhelming need to change. Randall's kind of one of them. Oh yeah, another anti-fun character is Jumba. You know, that consistent like hit the person in first place, that needs to change too. So these are a lot of like subcategories we can have for what we need to be changed in these 19 racers. But I think people might have the wrong impression, because I've noticed a lot of the times when they mention something is being changed, they mention something, people kind of get their hopes a little bit too high, and then when things drop, it's like, oh, you're changing it because it was the tire looked glitched. Oh, you're changing Elsa because she had the wrong tire when you equipped the tire. Like, it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Is like, they say it, but we get our hopes up, and then we see it, and it's like, oh no, they are changed. We fixed a spoiler in the color of their cosmetics. It's like, bro, that's not what we was expecting. Yeah, but that's y'all fault for reading too deep into it. That's how like their announcements function, unfortunately. And so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, and that's what I think people are getting their hopes up. Let's move up. Let's move on to the next one though. Boom. The next thing was the skill that's getting changed is Clock. It's a teleport that's getting one change in particular. It's not going anywhere. So, fun fact, again, I played since day one. Fun fact, teleport did not function that way. The ability wasn't in the game yet, I'll give you that, but it didn't function like that. So how the ability worked is similar to Randall. If you got in a teleport just like Randall, he'll like go through the door slowly and he'll pop back down. That's how teleport used to work. Before they dropped it, that's what like their testing teleport was. Once they drop teleport, it like zips you super fast and it puts you super far ahead. I wonder if they're gonna revert back to that where it's slow. Because think about it, if you're playing Mario or Mario Kart, one of the things that make bullet bills not broken is the fact that you need to still, like, it's still slow. You don't go from like last to first. It is slow, and it doesn't even last that long unless you go to a specific spot that makes it last longer. If they revert it and go back to what they originally had, okay, it's going to be slower and it's not going to be as far. It's literally going to be like maybe a place in front of you if you're next to somebody. It wasn't that great, but it was a teleport. My issue with this is, if we go back, he said one class and one common skill is getting changed. I didn't talk about the class, but we'll talk about that after the skill. Common skill. If you guys didn't know what a common skill is, it's something you could pick up, right? Now, from my knowledge, clocks are unaffected by your stars or your level. But what if the 19 racers that are getting changed, what if they swap out one of their common skills and give them a clock? Ponder that for a minute. Ponder that for a minute. Remember what I said, when they make announcements, sometimes they be BSing. Sometimes they be like, hey, we can, and it's not really much of a change. But they did touch the character, but it's not a change of the character. What if they, because he said clocks aren't going anywhere, right? He said then it's not going anywhere. So, are you guys gonna rebalance the clock? Or are you guys gonna give that old school teleport to a few other characters for them to use as a common skill? Just speculation. I'm just talking, make conversation. But A, it would get rid of the problem of people getting clocks when they last and people like wanting to get the clocks by being last on purpose. But other characters would get to teleport more often. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is something to think about. It is something to think about because 19 races are a lot. And I'm not no money guy. I don't know, how they funds are rolling, but I'm going to assume they didn't make enough in that season to touch 19 characters just like that. So I don't know, and they don't really balance like that either. They're not really much of a balanced team. They don't really care. So, that would suck. But all right, let's move on. As far as the classes go, so you did see that he talked about classes. As far as the classes go, I think Brawler's gonna get a change. What they need to do is just make it so that they can't stun you. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a game. You should not have one class be overloaded like that. That needs to change, and if that doesn't get changed, if they need to make it so brawlers have to ram you twice. Bam, one ram is you hurt and you're kind of limping a little bit, so to speak. If they ram you again, you're stunned. That way it gives you counterplay. Oh, you hit me, but I'm gonna try to avoid being smacked again, because if you smack me again, I'm stunned. That's counterplay. Very easy fix. Well, I don't know if it's easy to code, but that's an easy fix to fixing brawlers. They should still be able to stun you, but they shouldn't be able to just do it willy-nilly, just bam, bam, stun, stun, stun. That don't make no sense. If they don't change Brawler, I don't know. If they do something like we changing Tricksters, we changing Speedsters, I'm going to be tilted out of my mind. They better change Brawlers. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to read the patch notes in a video most likely, or maybe in a stream. Maybe in a little podcast like this, we go over the patch notes together. Who knows? We'll see. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know. All right, let's move on to the next one. So improvements in getting caught facing walls after it's stunned, etc. We already talked about that. We definitely want to see that change. That's not really something that's that much new. Same goes for not having enough momentum to traverse afterlifts or the silver screen nets. That needed a change, honestly. And so if you guys don't know what they're talking about, if you get hit before an airflow, sometimes you can't make it over. I don't like how they didn't say ramps. So are we just still gonna fall in a ramp situation? We can't make it. Don't really know what that's gonna be like, but a step in the right direction. I always say that, even if they don't fix everything, just knowing that they listen, knowing that they fix one thing at little baby steps. So that's all I care about. So good on them for that. We definitely need that to be changed, especially the net thing. If you get stunned on the net, you lost. The next thing that they said is a change to reduced 1v1s. That was, hold up, let me make it a little bit bigger because I can't see what you guys see. All right. The change to reduce 1v1s that was in for one day at the start of season 5 should come back with the start of season 6, as the issue it was causing had been fixed. Oh, they removed the 1v1s. Wait, is that a cop-out? They said that they would reduce 1v1s a long time ago, but they turned off 1v1s. Oh, oh my God. They reduced 1v1s. But he's saying that they turned off the reduced 1v1s. Am I crazy? Is that what I'm reading? Did they tell us that? Was I just blind? Or is he saying they kept it on? But why would you say it's coming back? It never went away. Bro, what? I'm confused. That's one thing I don't really like about Gameloft when it comes to Speedstorm, is they don't tell you nothing. It's they don't tell you nothing. I really dislike that. It's not like they're being sneaky. They just don't tell you nothing. I mean, it is kind of sneaky, not gonna lie. Hey, yo, we got reduced 1v1s. And hey, yo, let's just shut it off because it's causing issues, but not say nothing. I don't know. That's kind of messed up. That's kind of jacked. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway. No nerf to fire trail coming, but improvements to trail desync and penalty of other trail nerfs coming. So this is nice. This is basically similar to getting stunned by blocks and stuff like that, where Jesse drops blocks or man-made obstacles. You're not going to get stunned for that long. My issue with it, though, is it's not about how long I'm stunned on a trail. It's about the trail can constantly hit me over and over. That's my real thing. I don't care if I'm stunned for a second. That's whatever. But make it so that I'm invulnerable for the rest of the ability, vulnerable for the rest of the duration of the ability. If I'm constantly getting stunned regardless, then I don't know. That one I'm gonna have to like play and test and see how I feel. I don't know. You know, we never really get the full picture until we see the patch notes, so it's kind of hard to know what they really are gonna do. I am happy that the invisible trails aren't gonna be a problem anymore. But again, if we talk about how 4 stars and 5 stars are pretty much overloaded, you're gonna get hit by the trail repeatedly anyway. So, And then when you're talking about the penalty of other trail nerfs, they're saying trails like possibly Elizabeth Swan, or trails like Olaf, or trails like Steamboat Mickey. Are they really saying that they're gonna like nerf trails? That's hard, dude. This is some cryptic notes, bro. Cryptic notes. All right, let's move on. Lots of trail skill changes coming next week. Don't worry. Community have been busy beavers highlighting issues. Okay. We've been highlighting issues for a long time, AJ. Nah, AJ trolling. No. Nah. I like when AJ be telling us stuff. I do. No disrespect to AJ. I appreciate it. Even though sometimes, you say it's gonna change. So I can't trust you too much, but I do appreciate you at least talking, because sometimes we just need to hear something from somebody and know that we feel loved. All right. The next thing that they said is these will be desync instances most of the time, especially on your side if it registers. So that's pretty much that's pretty much talking about the stuns and whatnot. We looked into nerfing it too, which we're talking about. Oh, we're already talking about the trail still. Okay. But the number of stuns attributed to backwards activation were surprisingly low, so it was decided not to get touched. The improvements to the trail's desync should already make Fire Trail much easier to handle. Okay. Now the issue where players would start late. They said they cannot fix that issue. This is something that they said already before. Now, the funny thing is AJ didn't say it like this. Nah, AJ, I caught you slipping. He didn't say it nicely like this. He said it differently before, long time ago. The way AJ had said that this problem won't be fixed, he was saying that, the hardware can't handle it. Basically, he said it was old and you need to get a new system, or you need to upgrade your stuff. He didn't say that directly, but it wasn't as nice as this. He's already saying that it's not going to get fixed. Like, that's pretty much what the statement was. It's not getting fixed. Now it's more of the lines of it's extremely difficult to fix. That's a big difference between it's not going to get fixed, don't get your hopes up, to it's just hard to fix. So again, this is something that was already a problem, and considering that it hasn't been fixed already, it's probably not going to be fixed. And I do know that Nintendo Switch is dropping, or Nintendo in general is dropping a new Switch. So I wonder if they're working with that instead, and maybe it's going to run better on the new Nintendo Switch that they're going to be dropping. All right, that was a lot. What are your personal thoughts on everything? What are your personal thoughts? What changes are you looking forward to? What changes do you want? What are you guys thinking? Let me see some of your comments below. One of the things that I want to see is a new mode, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially if their focus is to change 19 racers, 1 class, and a common skill. New mode's not coming. I really wanted a balanced mode, but I don't think that's the direction that they want to take this game, and that's fair. That's fair. It's their game. They can do whatever they want. I ain't got nothing to say about that. But that was something that I really hoped with Disney Speedstorm, because I feel like that's something that would just make the game so much better for everybody. It should just have like one fair game mode. Everything else could be crazy overloaded, but one fair game mode. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they could surprise us with a patch, but that's a lot of stuff to fix, and have a game mode as well. Like that's a lot to implement inside of a patch. So I don't know if that'll be something that they're gonna do. But I would really, that's one of my major hopes, is to just have the game be a little bit more balanced to it. Ayo, just shut off the 1v1 fix. We'll tell him next season. That's what it felt like. Just remove the whole net from the silver screen. Wow, that's big brain. True, just delete the net from the entire silver screen. Do forget fixing it. Kraken Crunch Time says, I think they're going to change, say they changed the brawler class. They're going to need to change all brawlers. I think that's what they mean by all 19 classes, easier to do than just doing it individually. True. And that's what I said before, Kraken Crunch Time. It's like when they say things like that, it's usually not because they're gonna go indirectly and just do a big major change to this, indirectly a big major change to that. One of my, like I said, one of my issues with them like saying things like that is that they don't give you the full picture on purpose. And so there's a lot of, and it's not even just what changes. Honestly, they just don't give you a full picture all the time. I think Game Loft, when it comes to Disney Speedstorms, really likes players to speculate, because I think that is something that makes a community stay engaged with their game. If we give you just a little something, you're all gonna go crazy, you're all gonna speculate, you're all gonna make Reddit posts, you're all gonna make videos, you're gonna do all this crazy stuff around it. And then when you get it, it might not be nearly anything you expected, but we've kept you engaged by giving you just a little something. I don't know, that's a weird way to go about it. I would rather just you tell us what exactly is being changed and we could talk about that. But I do think Kraken Crunch Time is correct. I do think that it's going to be something where it's a major overhaul type of thing rather than individual. We went into every character specifically and changed it here and there. That's what I think that's going to happen. But like I said, that'd be really dope. Poke says, my point of view, cup still half full, but more show me instead of telling me. It's seriously been hard to trust their words ever since subject to change was spoken. Yeah, it's not even just that too. That is a big part of it though. But we've seen things change. You know what I mean? And so not just the words, but knowing that they have gone back to change things before kind of makes it like, we heard it before. Let me just see what you do live. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Clouded Crow? Good to see you. Hello. Okay. Cloak nerf, star power nerf. I think that he said he was gonna just nerf the clock. I think that's what he was hinting at. I would hope to see 2 nerfs. That'd be dope. But clock is a common skill, I believe. So I think that's getting nerfed. Okay. Let's talk about the last thing. And the last thing, we're just gonna be, like I said, we're gonna be reviewing comments of the last podcast, and that's what we're gonna do every single time. So leave your comment down below. Obviously, for the membership stream, don't leave your comments here just because, I guess you can. It doesn't really matter. But if you want other people to see it, leave it on the actual release of the video, which will be premiering on Monday per usual at the same time, 11:30 Central. So, be that as it may. Let's move on to the podcast, the last podcast comments. And I've already responded to some of them. So, but I still wanted to get them out so you guys can respond to them as well as members. And just so you guys, if you haven't watched the last one, can also see them as well and respond how you guys feel. So Josh Cheryl said, I said it once and I'll say it again. I really want Zootopia in the game. The course ideas would be insane. That's true. I definitely do want to see Zootopia in it. I do think it'd be really cool because Zootopia is like a real city, but it's not a real city. And we don't really have much of a real city. A lot of our courses are very like imaginative, except the Toon Village. But that's not a city. That's like a town. You know what I mean? Having an actual city, I think, would be really, really cool. And I think it'd be dope to see a whole bunch of skyscrapers or a whole bunch of buildings, and you're racing through and you're seeing people walking on the street, and whatever. You can even make that kind of like basic, because you don't need to make a city seem extravagant. You can make it an actual city with a Disney spin on it, and then just that'd be kind of dope. I would really like that. I really like that personally. I would really actually like that and enjoy that a lot. Zootopia would be sick. I want Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think someone said there are already rumors of it. Yeah, they had leaks of Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not sure if they're gonna drop that though, especially because I don't think they were in their racing suits. If I remember correctly, they weren't, and they also weren't in their carts. And so if that is to come, that's gonna be coming way later, way later, or that was just a publicity stunt to just show, hey, look what we got, play our game. And I don't know. Some developers do stuff like that, so it's hard to really say. But I do want to play as Oogie Boogie, and I'll be very, very happy if the Nightmare Before Christmas comes. But again, I just never get my hopes up just because I hate being let down, man. If you guys have been gamers for years, and I'm talking about 10 years, 20 years, y'all know developers be letting people down. And it's not just Game Loft, AAA companies, EA. There's a lot of companies that let players down, which is exactly why if you've been a gamer, like a real gamer for a long time, you just know not to get your hopes up until you see it. So whenever I say, don't get your hopes up, whenever I say, oh, it might be this, it's not me attacking Game Loft. It's just me being a gamer for a really long time. A lot of companies do some dirty things sometimes, or a lot of companies don't fulfill on their promises. That's just how the world is when it comes to creating games, unfortunately. And that's just how we are trained to think, so we don't get our feelings hurt. That's all. We want to see every game succeed, but, you know, not every game succeeds. Azen Jason says, I would love a Phineas and Ferb season. How would they even do that? Not gonna lie, a Phineas and Ferb season, like an actual season, would be really cool. Like, think about how many creations that series has had with their like crazy inventions and stuff. And imagine you writing the inventions. Imagine you going through and seeing some of the inventions on the side. Like, that would be a nasty course. That would be an actual, like, that's one of the courses where that's like, bro, big brain course. Like, that would be one of their like hardest tasks for the design team. And I know they would kill it. I know they would kill it. I don't know if they would do an entire season though, because there's only really a couple of main characters. And I don't think that series has enough of a cast for everyone to enjoy, because you gotta know when they put things into the game, they want to do a season that it's gonna touch a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's gonna touch my inner child. It's gonna touch your inner child. It's gonna touch my friend's inner child. Like, it's supposed to get everybody. And I think with Phineas and Ferb, there's not a lot of characters in there where it's like, A, you probably, have you heard of it? You know, that's one of the things. Have you actually heard of it? B, have you actually seen it? And that's one of the hard parts about like when they're dropping things. They got to make sure that it's something that a lot of people know about. Now, when it's the special bonus racers, different story, right? Who cares about if you know the special bonus racer, because you don't have a whole course. What I would like to see from Gameloft, and I think that people have already said it, because, you know, people have been data mining. Again, can't really trust data mines because that's something that they could just be testing. You could find something that they were working on, but they're not implementing it into the game. But this is something that I've said a long time ago. Instead of having just season courses, release characters as bonus racers with a bonus track. I think a lot of the times Disney Speedstorm likes to go over the top with their courses. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. That's cool. That's fine and dandy. But you can do, or I don't know, I'm not a programmer, but I feel like you could do a lot more if you scaled down some of these tracks. You know what I mean? You don't need a lot of these tracks to feel grand and awesome, especially because a lot of the races tend to be over like that, right? How many times do you play a track and you go, ooh, ah, 10 times, ooh, ah, 20 times, ooh, ah, 30 times, ooh, ah, 40 times? Is it worth to spend months after months crafting a track where you get that ooh, ah, and it just goes away? Or is it worth crafting separate tracks so that way you get the ooh ah, but you also get the different tracks? I said this before in another podcast. If they make it so that the tracks are smaller, like more condensed, they'll make it beautiful, of course, but they can use different types of track. As an example, I'll do Toy Story just because Toy Story is very easy. It's a real life like thing. We have Andy's room, one track. Don't have to make it crazy. Make it basic, you know? Make it cool, but make it basic. Then maybe you race in the bathroom. Maybe you race in the garage. Maybe you race at Al's Play Barn. Like, you could really downscale these big maps. And yes, you're gonna get rid of the ooh ah factor that you get, but it goes away anyway. I've never gone back to Toy Story and be like, oh my God, this map is so amazing. And I played it 10, 15, 20 times. I'm just like, okay, Toy Story map, I hate it. Instead of having different variations, just make it different tracks. Again, I honestly think even if they don't make it so crazy, so windy, so twisty, if they make it so that it's different visually, yes, it needs to feel good racing on it, don't get me wrong, but a racing game is a racing game. What do? You go from the start of the line, lap a few times, finish the race. I do think that is an important aspect. You want to make sure that the racing is fun, and you want to make sure that when you're racing on the track, you feel it's a track. But just think of how much more people would want to play the game, noticing there's different tracks to experiment on and enjoy. It's just remove the variations and just give me different visual things. Again, it doesn't have to be crazy. I don't gotta see 3,000 miles ahead of me and be like, dang, that's super crazy down there. There's a big building and stuff. I don't need that. Al's Play Barn, garage, basement, Andy's room. That's 4 tracks right there. Put toys in one, you know, put like a little bathroom and like, you know, I don't know. That's just how I feel. And so when doing bonus racers, I feel like that'd be really cool if they would just have a different track for each bonus racers. For example, Wall-E. If Wall-E came out, maybe you have the race on his planet. On Earth, on his planet, on Earth. It's dusty, crazy. You guys know in the beginning of the movie, it's dusty. There's a whole bunch of trash piles and everything, and that's where you're racing. But when Eve drops, you get a space station, cause she's on the spaceship, right? You racing on that. That's 2 tracks right there, and it could be downscaled so it feels different and it looks different, but it doesn't take as much resources and it doesn't take as much time to craft, and you get 2 cool tracks. I would enjoy that, and they could just do that every single time. I don't know how much it costs. I'm not a programmer, but I would just assume downscaling it, and they make different variations anyway. So would it be easier to just downscale and make new maps? I don't know. But like I said, if they had a Phineas and Ferb season, that'd be pretty dope, because then they could do something like that. And I would really, really love to see that, which is why I brought it up. They might not make it a full season, but I would love to see multiple, or to see another track with them, because it would just be, the design team would go nuts. They would go nuts, for real. Yeah, we do need new maps. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's exactly, like, variations just aren't enough sometimes. I know what they were trying to go for and what they were trying to do, but you know, you ain't got to go crazy on every single map. Disney Speedstorm, you ain't got to downscale that junk. We're gonna be happy anyway. We're happy because we play our little childhood characters, and we're happy because we're playing on a map in the movie that we watched when we were young. That's literally what it is. You don't need to be super fantastic and crazy like that. We like the game because we get to live our young stuff in a racing game. That's pretty much it. We would play it regardless of how grand and beautiful it looked, because that's the fun of it. I play the character that I grew up with, and I can see their map in the game. That's pretty much what it is. So it doesn't really, I would still play the game. Yep, agree. Best idea ever to have multiple smaller tracks in one big one. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, they already cut up each track. Like in Frozen map, you have a snow mountain area, you have a castle, you have the town, and then I think that's it. There might be one more thing, but you have those 3 areas. Just cut them off and make them little tracks. They already designed multiple tracks, or they already designed multiple sections in the track. Just cut it off and let me enjoy that one. That's all you gotta do. I think that'd be really cool. Yo, get popping in the track design lab. I think a lot of my ideas stem from perspective. I think as a person of who I am, I like to see everybody's side of the story. It's not really just about me, or what I want. I like to see everyone's perspective. I like to see everyone, look, how would everybody feel? Not just how would I feel for me, how would that person feel? And so I think that's why a lot of my ideas might seem pretty like, oh wow, that's crazy. Because I think about everybody. I want everyone to be happy. That's the main goal. That's one of the reasons why I started covering Disney Speedstorm. I wanted everybody to know what it was about, because it wasn't getting publicity at the time. And I wanted all the new players to feel, you know, happy and good to be playing the new game, and all these changes I want to see coming. Just unfortunate that they aren't listening. Because a lot of the complaints that I say, not even complaints, but a lot of the things that I say, they're actually like not from me. They're from you guys. A lot of what I say is from you guys. I read your comments. I read your Discords. I read your Reddit posts. Like, a lot of what I say is not actually from my brain. So it's from you guys. You guys say a lot of the things you guys want change, and I just kind of voice them, so to speak. Is a track builder element outside of the possibility for this game? Joseph says. Track building. I think that'd be hype. I think it might not be part of the game for a while, unless they get a surge of players, because that's something I know for sure going to cost a lot of money. But if they did something like that, I feel like the community would really enjoy it. I would enjoy it. And I don't even make tracks in games because I'm not that creative in terms of like building things like that. Or like Little Big Planet. I'm not that creative. But I love looking at other people's creations. I love it. And I know a lot of the community that play the game or that follow the game are very smart. You know, you guys have very great ideas, and I would definitely think that'd be really, really dope. Like I said before, imagine with every season, the main 3, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, maybe some other popular racers from the collection, get skins according to the season. Would be dope. I would like to see more skins as well. I feel like the skins is something that they could have done in the first place by just saying, oh, you want Steamboat Mickey? Well, here's a skin that makes Mickey Steamboat. He looks like Steamboat Mickey. You're still playing Mickey, but it looks like Steamboat Mickey. And then you just change some of the effects. The ability works the same, but it looks different. You know how much money you can make by not making an actual racer, but like half-aing a racer into a skin? Have you seen Smite? Ninja Turtles are in Smite. Rocko's Modern Life is in Smite. Bro, SpongeBob is in Smite. They want to play the character, and the character remains the same. They still gonna buy their skin because why? I'm playing as Donatello. I'm playing as Michelangelo. Technically, you're playing as the character without the skin, but that's not what we... Visually, it's stimulating our brains to make it seem like we're playing as it. We're basically imagining it. They could have done the same thing with Disney Speedstorm and made a freak ton of money. Like, way more than the shard system could have made, in my opinion. I would have bought any skin. You tell me I can turn Donald Duck into Darkwing Duck, bro? They're not the same character. I know they're not, but it doesn't matter. If I can make it look and sound and feel like Darkwing Duck without making a Darkwing Duck character, I'm buying it. I don't care. That is a lot of money. Like, bro, I'd be cashing out. If they just didn't have the shards and that's what their money-making scheme was, money-making plan was, to just make skins for characters, drop new characters, of course, but make skins for characters. Think about how many spin-offs there's been. Think about how many movies they've been in. Think about how many series they've been in where their characters changes. Like, dude, what, bro? Like, you're telling me y'all didn't think of that? Are y'all serious right now? Oh, I would be cashing like crazy. King Tay says, Kim Possible would be so dope if they added her in the game. I definitely think so too. Kim Possible, Shigo, Ron, Rufus would be Troll, but I would still drive a naked mole rat. No, I would. I'm not gonna lie, I would. But yeah, like, for sure. And again, they could do the same thing. Drop Kim Possible and a skin for Kim Possible to make it look and sound like Shigo. I don't know how hard that is. I'm not a programmer, but I would assume making something look different is a lot easier than changing something entirely and making it a playable character. Again, I'm not a coder, I don't know, but it just seems like that's the easier way to do things. So, I don't know, but you can drop way less characters and have way more characters just by doing that one simple thing. Like, for real. Oh, you guys want Shigo, you guys want Kim Possible, and okay, we'll drop Kim Possible and you can skin it to Shigo. You want Phineas and Ferb? Okay, we'll drop Phineas and then you can skin it to Ferb. Oh, you want, I don't know. And just keep doing that. Keep doing that. There's so many series. There's so many things where you can just change a character skin and make it part of that world. Like Kingdom Hearts does when you go into different worlds. It changes them. It changes how they look. Everybody looks different and they could do the same thing and call it a day. Even what's his face? Launchpad. Like you can change your skin and just make it Launchpad. They're all ducks. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of a disservice. You can't make Donald Duck Launchpad. Launchpad is too much of an entity. I don't think you could do that. But it would be easier. Just give him a different voice. Give him with the same abilities as Donald has, and you playing as Launchpad, man. Same cart, same everything. Anyway, all right. Sado Sabrino says, for live action, I think a series that would feature a great track and song remixes would be High School Musical, but I don't expect that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen either. Again, I think a lot of their focus when they drop new races or new tracks is like, how many people can we hit? Right? Like, they're not dropping characters. And I think this is something that needs to be said, I think, in general. You know, we all have our characters that we want to see in the game. We all have, like, I want this, I want this, I want this. We all have it. We all big kids at heart, and we really want to see our favorite stuff in the game. But from a business standpoint, they might focus more on, like, does anybody even know that movie? Does anybody even know those characters? Nah, not gonna do it, you know? Like, I feel like that's the best way to go, especially because of how they have the game set up in terms of, like, sharding is their main resource and in terms of money, main revenue and stuff like that. They're gonna have to try to attract more people because the game itself doesn't attract. If you think about it, the only thing that makes someone want to try Speedstorm is what? You guys know. You guys know exactly why you tried it, and you guys know exactly why someone else would want to try it. Their character is in the game. They are not going to say, I want to try Speedstorm because it looks really cool and fun, and I think I'm going to have a good time. They might think that subconsciously, but realistically, the main reason they're going to play Disney Speedstorm, or at least give it a try, is because, oh, I could play as Jessie. I loved Jessie when I was a little kid. Man, that was my favorite character. Let me go play some Jessie. Oh, that's the name of the game. And so I think Game Life has already like thought about that in terms of getting money, and that's how they kind of do characters and whatnot. It's like, well, what can we get that will resonate with a lot of people and be like, oh, that character's in Disney Speedstorm? I guess I'll give it a try. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of how they go with it. So I don't see that track happening. I don't see that thing happening as a movie, but I'd be down because High School Musical was my jam. I've seen all three. Claire Schoen says, also popping up, remember, thank you. They said, I would really love to see Tigger, which is, again, I commented to your thing already. I would really love to see Tigger on those tracks, and Lion King. So many say Lion King wouldn't work, but if they can skate in Disney Extreme Skate, which is what I was talking about, that's my game, Disney Extreme Skate, then I reckon they can make it work. I love Disney Extreme Skate, and I would really love a remaster of that game. Disney Extreme Skate, if you guys don't know what it is, was a game that was made by Disney. I don't know the company or the publisher. The company? The publisher. But they would have Disney characters on like a skateboard. Like Tony Hawk with Disney. Basically Disney Speedstorm, but, you know, Tony Hawk with Disney. Dope game. Like, dope game. Dope game. The courses were dope. Or not the courses. I don't really know what you would call them. The stages? The stages were dope. The music was dope. Really, really dope game. Like, really, really dope game. It's a very old game, but it's a very dope game. And I agree with them. If they can make that work on a skating game, they have Simba, I think it's Simba, on a skateboard doing tricks. They can make some stuff happen. They can make some stuff happen. Maybe make a cart where you drive with your hands on like, you know, they stand on all fours and they drive like this. And go left or right, they press the button. You know? Simba's not stupid. He has a brain. So press the button like that. And then that's how he turns. You know? It's doable. It's doable. I do agree. And that is the end of the comments there. So I don't know if you guys enjoy this type of podcast. I actually really liked it. It was definitely a lot better recording it because it felt like we're all hanging out. It felt like we were all just chilling together. And I actually like really, really, really enjoyed it. I actually really, really enjoyed it. So if this is something that you guys want to see more of, if this is something that you guys want to see, again, it's members only for the initial recording, but everybody's going to see it at the same exact time that all the other podcasts were. I just wanted to have you guys here recording it because you help support the channel. You're the reason why I'm able to make the podcast and the videos and all that extra good stuff. So I wanted a way to share it with you, and I feel like this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So far, you guys really like it. I absolutely loved it. Very nice. Yeah, I loved it too. Okay. All right. Lion King, they would have my entire wall. Yeah. Minnie made me finally hop on board playing Speedstorm. They also falling in love with Angel and the first time seeing her special was funny. Yeah. Exactly. A lot of the main reasons people play Disney Speedstorm is because their favorite thing is in there. There's something visually appealing to them. So that's what it is. Again, if you guys want to be a part of these members only podcast recordings, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have it, we're going to go through things and whatnot. If you guys want to be part of that, click that join button down below. If you guys want to make sure that you are watching other podcasts, they are up. I have a lot of them. Check them out, watch them, listen to them, do what you need to do. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you members for being here. You guys are awesome. Again, I appreciate all the support you guys give me. Thank you so much. I feel like I just can't say it enough, but thank you guys so much for all that you guys do. Seriously. Until next time, you know what I always say. Think you guys are doing what? Popping often. Will often.